Welcome back to part 2 of the chainsaw video. Well, what we really could call this is wet days in the workshop, because it's not a very nice day again today. So I'm cracking on with the old Stihl chainsaw here, the old 25. You might remember I changed over or cleaned out the carburetor in part 1. Part 2, oh, that's heavy, in my manky old workshop. Part 2, we are fitting, I'm just dropping everything, we're fitting a new blade on here because this is pretty worn out, new chain and new sprocket, so that cover's got to come off, so it's all here. There we go, there's the new bar, we'll open that in a minute. I've gone for all genuine Stihl parts. Now it's kind of one of those things where you start looking stuff up and you can, sorry, I'm just tidying up sort of while I talk to you. It's one of those dilemmas you have. Do you buy genuine parts or not? Because a new bar for the Stihl, I think that was about 50 quid or something, but a fake one was about 20. Now I kind of weighed it up and thought, you know what, if I get a fake one and it's not very good, that's wasted my money really, isn't it? You know, when I say a fake one, a generic one, you know, one with no brand on it. And I figured that a Stihl one is probably designed to wear better, perhaps be a bit more tough. So what I'm going to do is put genuine parts on this, and also the fact that this lot have lasted probably 20 odd years, more than that, probably indicates that it's probably worth it. Right, so I'm just going to take this cover off. 2 bolts. No, they're not on very tight. Finger tight. That one. Not finger tight. They're finger tight when I only do them up finger tight. Right. Let's get this cover off. Right. Do you know what? Put the camera down, Rich. There we go. Cover's off. Right. So you can see how it works really. So drive wheel here goes round and round. Let's put that round and round, he says. Driving the chain along the bar. Teeth cut the wood as it goes around. Right, but this cog here gets really worn. This bar gets really worn. So I'm going to just literally pull that off. Look. You know, didn't take much, did it? Take that off there. Then you can see the drive wheel. Now look at this. Look at that. Can you see how worn that is? Pretty worn. That's got to drive. Let's just zoom in on that. Look at that. Look at the wear on that. That's pretty bad. I'm not entirely convinced I've ever changed that drive wheel, and it's a fairly simple operation. I'm just going to put this one on. Let's take this off. I'm going to put this on the tripod first. Just got to get this little, I don't know what you call that little washer out of there, and then this just pulls out, he said. Right, there is a little bearing in there. I'm going to put a bit of grease on that just before I put that back on there. I'm going to put it back on there for now because I don't want to lose it. Let's have a look at the difference between these two here. Should have brought my knife. Right, okay.
Hello, I'm a bug-eyed monster.
Okay, right, look at that. Can you see that? That one's pretty. And that one's not. For all intents and purposes, they're the same on that bit, but that bit. So you put them like that. Right, so I'm going to put that one on there. What it is down there's a little, can you see that little slot? There's a little slot there that's got to engage in there. So I'm just going to put a bit of grease on the bearing, then I'm going to put this one back in. That is a clutch. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Hello, Sid's not here.
Anyone remember Kenny Everett? She's not here. Alright. Right, sorry about that. Anyway, it's not snot, it is grease. It is greasy grease. Look, I'm just going to put a little bit of that on that bearing before we put the cover back on. Right, so I've got this here, this slot. Oh, I can't see the slot. I have to get my torch out. Anyway, this is a clutch. I don't know much about this, but basically, so this goes round. Let me just. He said, so that goes round and round and round and round. When you put the lock on, like that, it locks it. He said, with that. Actually, I've got to put that on there first, so it doesn't lock it until. You see that? Actually, look, you can see it. Look, that bit clips in on the edge there and catches on the edge of there and basically acts like a brake. So let me just get my torch and we'll see if we can find the groove. Alright, I've identified the slot is just there. There's a little line, can you see the little line there? That's where the slot's got to line up with the other slot. So, like so, I think that's probably in there. Let's hope so. I guess we'll know when we put the washer back on, because if it's not lined up properly, this little ring won't line up. Now my biggest fear is pinging that off. Right. Right, I'm going to put this down on the stand while I just push that in. Yes, I think that's in. Okay. Right. That would appear to be okay. Let's just put the... That's locking that. Right. So now I've got to get the new bar and chain on. Christmas time. Oh. Chainsaws and wine don't mix at all. Right. New bar. Ba 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 still. Ba 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 still. You're getting all the tunes today, haven't you? Right. Look at this. Right, here we go. Here we go. Look at that. Before and after. Now, can you see? I don't know whether how well you can see that. The wear. God, my eyesight's out of focus. There is a wear. There is a load of wear in there. Can you see almost that? It'll probably focus on me rather than... Let me just hide behind it. Woo! That is very worn. Right, so that's going on there. We've got a new... This is going on there. That one's going in the scrap. Now this one, let me just get the new chain out. It's important you get the right size. And if I haven't got the right size, I can't return it now because I've actually destroyed the box. And that was a dilemma when you order stuff and you have to send it back and you've already ripped the box to shreds before you send it back. I always do that. I'm rubbish. I'm rubbish at keeping any packaging, you know. And quite often you get stuff that says retain packaging in case of return, and you think, oh, I won't bother with that, and then suddenly it's actually you've got to return it. Right. So the important thing here is I like the writing on the bottom of the saw so you can read it, and also the teeth have got to be going the right way. There we go. So fit that on there. Now I'm sure any of you who do chainsaws will probably go, he's doing it the wrong way, and you're probably right. There we go. There you go. It's like a new necklace. Another present for the wife, apart from the road planing, is I've got her a new chainsaw blade. She is a lucky lady. As I'm sure she said many times, being married to the funky farmer. Maybe not. Right, so let me just have a look. Right. Now I expect, because the chainsaw's blades, old one's been stretched, I've got to adjust it back on the bar. On the adjuster, yeah, right. So let me just adjust this back. This here thing here, you can adjust the tightness, the slackness of the chain. It's like a sliding bar there. Look, can you see that? Let's have a look. Look, let's just see there. Look. So this there, that can adjust it. Can you see that? That bit moves up and down. Right. So I'm going to see if I can fit that back on there now. Still got it. Let me just. Get that lined up there, and then it will slot in. Right. I'm going to get the cover on quick. Once I've got the cover on, I can actually adjust it. Okay, so in here is that adjuster screw that you can do up, and you see the chain's all slack at the moment, but you see there. So if I tighten that up, you should see the chain gradually tightening up with it. Look, you can actually see it's already gone fairly tight. Yeah, look, I think that's about right. Pings back in there nicely. Right, so I'm just going to do these bolts up. Okay, so I confess this is the idiot's guide to putting chainsaw chains and bits on and pieces. I did do a chainsaw course, but it's so long ago I need to go on a refresher course, and I've done some basic DIY on here today, but I'm not going to say to you this is the right way to do it. This is just how I've done it. I mean, if you watch Ian Pullen's videos on chainsaws and stuff like that, he's professional guy. Farmer P, he'll know what he's doing, whereas I'm just doing this best I can. Right, I'm going to start that up in a bit. Look at this. I've got a big scrap pile. So it's like a birthday present for that chainsaw, because it's had a carburetor clean, it's had a new blade, a new pulley wheel, flywheel, and a new chain. And hopefully I can go chainsaw with those apple trees and it should whiz through. Let me just get you the blade I took. I've done the other chainsaw as well. Look, they both had an overhaul. I've done that one as well. I didn't film that one, but I've done the carburetor on that one and the blade. The carburetor and the blade were a lot worse. I don't think they've been looked at in donkey's years. The carburetor actually had loads of sawdust in it. The blade on there is nearly over. I'm going to go and get you the blade because it is quite a thing to see. Back from school again, we've got Hazza in the house. Hazza, what do you think of this?
Shiny.
What do you think of that one?
Not shiny.
Not shiny. Can you see how worn it is on there as well? Can you see? Don't touch it, it's very sharp. Can you see the top end?
Yeah.
It's all burred, isn't it? Well, that's where it's really worn out. Now this is all, also it's got all the paint on it. Look, can you see it says the name of the brand on it? That one there originally was like that.
So that used to be white.
That used to be white. You can see a bit of the paint, and that one did as well.
That's not white.
No, it's so old, it's worn off. Look, actually, so I've changed both of those. That's from the big one down there. Big chainsaw.
Oh, you got a new one.
Both of them. Both of them have got new blades, and I've cleaned up the engine a bit as well. So inside.
That one.
Yeah, I've done both of them. Are you impressed?
Yeah. Did you clean the engine?
Yeah, I've taken it apart. In part one of the video of this, you can actually see.
Is that
what
the
I
old
did.
belt?
That's the old chain. Yeah.
Where's the other one?
Well, that one just needs sharpening up. It's still got plenty of bite on the teeth. Can you see the little teeth? That's the little teeth that cut in the wood there. So that one, I'll keep that as a spare maybe. But this one's got a brand new one. Look how sharp and shiny they are on there. Try not to cut your leg off. I'm not letting you use it. Anyway, how was school?
Okay.
What were you doing today?
Guitar.
Guitar, how'd that go?
It's good. I got some new shiny stickers.
Have you? That's the most important thing in the world, mate.
Yeah.
What were they for?
So I know where to put my fingers.
Oh wow, awesome.
So now I can play a new piece.
What can you play? Anything?
It's not got a name.
It's got a name. What's
I don't know.
Okay. Are you going to write some instead? You could be the next Paul Simon.
No.
How do you know Paul Simon's really famous?
I don't know him.
Have you heard of Simon and Garfunkel?
No.
Well, you need to go on YouTube and type in Paul Simon.
No.
Never mind, Harry. You can do whatever you want. Right, mate. You better get back inside. You got to go and take Buddy for a walk, haven't you?
No, I gotta clean up chickens.
Have you?
No, I gotta get them some new food.
Yeah.
And collect eggs and put more straw down.
Good work. All right. I'll see you later.
Bye bye.
There we go. Bit of Harryness. Playing the guitar. I haven't. As you know, I've got no musical ability, but that doesn't really matter, does it? Because you love my singing. And maybe if Harry keeps at the guitar, we could get some musical accompaniment. Unlikely. Right. So, right. We're gonna try starting these up in a bit, but I've got to go back and do some milking. We'll recap on this later with a bit of a. Let's hope these start, because I have no idea whether I can get them started, even though I've done all the work on them. Fingers crossed.